This is Wimborne in Dorset, one of the most picturesque towns in England. But few people realise there are two Wimbornes, one in miniature. Not just a collection of odd model houses and streets, but an exact replica of the town.
It's a sheer delight really on the children's faces when they really seem to enjoy coming here, even though they have no recollection of the town as it used to be then. I'm Mike Hopkins, I'm one of the stand-in duty managers. I've been here now, this time as a volunteer, for just over a year. But before that, when the model town was originally on a previous site over the other side of the town, I became involved in moving the buildings from the old site onto here and re-erecting them. 1947, I think, there was 4 townsfolk who went on a visit down to somewhere in Devon and saw a model town, and they came back inspired to think that they'd be a useful thing to have in our own town. And so these 4 people got together with some other volunteers, and they handmade each one of these buildings, cast them in concrete, and then reassembled them on the site over here. This particular shop was one of the places I got a picture of my daughter with the first time I brought her here in 1993. So she lives in Bristol now, she was down the other week, and I did take a picture of her on exactly the same spot, which she looks a bit better now. It takes up a lot of my time now, much more than I thought it was going to. I started originally coming in to do some gardening, and I've now ended up doing some maintenance and standing in for the duty manager, so I spent a lot more time than I thought I was going to. It was quite an exciting time. I got, to be honest, I didn't rush in to think I wanted to come and help reassemble it. I was accosted by Pat Heimers, had threatened to demolish the whole thing and to turn it into rubble. So I spent both Saturdays and Sundays down here all throughout the winter building concrete roads, base and foundations for the buildings with some lovely people. There was a local farmer, Doug Holloway, who was also instrumental. He was about 80 at the time. He was as strong as an ox, and he went on to die when he was 93, so he was quite a character. The one I suppose brings back a memory for me is the King's Head, because that was the one that I was mostly involved in reassembling with a very good friend at the time, who I've just really made contact with him again. Actually, I've lost touch with him for a number of years. I think because I was involved in resurrecting on this site, it's always been important to me that it continues, and that's really why when I finally retired I wanted to come back and give something back to the model town. We're now starting, after it's been neglected a few years, now we're actually going through a big maintenance programme, and sometimes when I come here in the morning and open up and there's nobody else around before the paying public come in, I can sit here with a cup of tea in the garden. It's like having your own private garden. I mean, it is a beautiful sight.